So you know by now how important it is to set up an estate plan. Now, having a blended family where each spouse was previously married or was in a relationship that produced at least one child introduces interesting factors to consider. I represent clients who have been married their third time, and in each marriage, they produce at least one child. In the Brady bunch, Mr. Brady had 3 sons from a separate marriage, and Mrs. Brady had 3 daughters from a separate marriage. If one spouse passes away and the surviving spouse inherits all of the assets, this introduced a level of complexity for each spouse to consider if one of them were to pass away. So in a worst case scenario, if Mr. Brady were to pass away before Mrs. Brady, and we assume Mrs. Brady inherited the entire estate, she could intentionally or unintentionally disinherit Mr. Brady's 3 sons, and they could get nothing. So to avoid the Brady bunch scenario, you can include specific instructions in your estate plan to protect the children regardless of which spouse passes away first. One consideration for Mr. Brady is to include a provision in his estate plan so that after he passes, even though Mrs. Brady survives, a distribution will go to his sons. That way, his children will not have to wait for Mrs. Brady to pass away. In a blended family situation, I generally recommend alternative assets in carrying out these distributions. For example, life insurance, retirement, and personal property of a sentimental value. These are assets that can be easily distributed to the children without it further complicating the estate. Specifically, I generally don't recommend that the personal residence be distributed to the children that are not the children of your surviving spouse. So if you are in a blended family situation and you have a specific set of instructions to protect your children, I highly recommend that you set up an estate plan and talk to one of our attorneys.